Hey, good morning. I'm Glenn Allen of Goal Crusher Marketing, and today I want to show you how to brand an image with your name, member ID, and a small logo, like a Young Living Independent Distributor logo. You can also do this if you've got your own branded logo. So we're going to need a few things. We're going to need Canva. We're going to need your member ID number. And we're going to need some kind of graphic to put your brand or member ID onto. So first things first, let's go over to Virtual Office in youngliving.com, and you're going to go to Member Resources. If you look down here, you'll see Shareable Media, and I'm going to pick an infographic that fits me a little better. So click on the magnifying glass, and then you can right-click, and you're going to save this image as a portable network graphics image, a PNG, which tends to be higher quality than a JPEG. There's different reasons to go with one or the other, but for today, PNG. So I'm going to call this Fit Jogger. Save it to my documents folder so I know where the heck it is later, and save it. Okay, now in Canva, I'm going to create a design. I'm going to create two designs. One's going to be a Facebook post where I'm going to put this graphic. So I'm just going to drag and drop it right onto here. You'll see over here, it's loading, uploading that is. Now bear in mind, some of the things I'm about to do, you can only do if you have Canva for work, which is 10, 12 bucks a month. Really worth it if you're doing this a lot. There's a ton of great features on here that you're not going to get in the free version. And you're going to see some of these pretty soon. I'll show you one of them right now. If I go to Canva and I go to your brand, you can see I've got a palette here of colors I use for my I'm an Orchestra brand. These were set with the hexadecimal codes that I use for the exact colors I use across my entire brand, whether it's an image I make on here, something I make for my YouTube channel, for my website, for Facebook. They all have the exact same 5 exact hexadecimal colors. And then this is some client work I was doing, and these are their branded colors. And I've got a few others elsewhere that I keep in a Google Drive file. You can also have your own branded fonts. So these are always ready to go. They're the defaults when you're making new images, which is awesome. So I'm an Orchestra uses Bebas Nue, I guess is how you would say that, as the main, and the Montserrat as a sub. And so it's nice to have 2 branded fonts at minimum, and really no more than 3. You can see I've got some uploaded fonts. It's another premium feature. So some of these are client fonts that they use in all of their marketing. This helps keep them consistently branded, and you just upload them into here and they're ready to go. You can use them in your designs. Also, there's a spot for logos. So you can see I have my I'm an Orchestra logos. Let me show you something about that. There's a logo folder. Oh, and you can create your own folders, which is really helpful for keeping your different types of promos or different brands you might have, keeping them consistently separated, not having to just sift through all this stuff, because I've got a lot on here. Let me go over to this post. You can see there's a logos one. And what's great about this logos one, I've made a black version of my logo, but what if my background was black? Then I go back over to my logos and I use the white one. So it's good to have one of each. Also notice there's no white space in here. Normally there'd be a white space right in here, but this is a transparent PNG, and this is what we're going to create. That way it'll work on any color background. All right, let's get rid of all this stuff. So here we go. We've got our Fit Jogger who's been uploaded. Uploads. There we go. Let's throw that dude in there. And let's get them centered. What's nice is we've got these little hash lines that come in that help you figure out where the center is. And that's ours. And then there's the cross mark, so I know it's perfectly centered. Now, let's say I want to brand this somewhere in here with my member ID, my name, and a little distributor logo. It might be a little redundant on a graphic like this because it's already been done here, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how this is done regardless. So the important thing is we want a transparent PNG. So if we want to have our logo, when we go into, let's do this on Google search, you'll see I put in a Young Living logo transparent search. Now this is something I want to show you. If you look at this, I don't know what the resolution will be with this when this video is finished, but there's always artifacts in here. You can see it's kind of discolored in the white space. Maybe you can't see it, but you don't want a graphic like that. So don't use those. Those are not good quality. But over here, let's see if this one is one. This is, I'll just checker here. This won't show through. This is actually clear space. So we're gonna download this one. Right click, save image as, and make sure it is a portable network graphics image. If it was a JPEG, and then we lose the transparency. I'm gonna save that again to my documents. You could make a folder for all these things that are specific, to making your designs. But documents is going to work for now because I'm just going to drag it out of my little bar down here anyway. Okay, let's create a second design, and this one's going to be a logo. So if you go to create a design, there's a block right here, logo. But let's say that wasn't the way your view looked. Let me show you how this looks otherwise. Starting fresh. You're going to find that down here under marketing materials. Okay, we got a nice, 500 by 500 space, something like that. And let's go back to our elements. Let's go back to our uploads. And let's drop in this logo. Actually, let's drop it right into logos. Better yet. Here's one I tried using, and you can see the white space in there. That's because it's not a transparent PNG. It's a PNG, it's just not transparent. So we're gonna throw that in trash. Okay, we're gonna drop that right into place. I just click on it and pops right in. Now we're gonna go to text, add a heading. You can see it's already got my branded font in here. That is awesome to me. Saves me time. I don't have to go in and dig for it. I'm going to select all, put my name in. I'm gonna add another heading just so that they're both the same size. Okay, you see those lines? Helps me line it up just perfect. And I'm going to put YLID. And then this is where having your member ID memorized comes into play. But I'm just going to get it out of an email I have. Otherwise, I also keep all of my logins and passwords in a folder. I jokingly call mine Kenny Logins, which is really dating me right now. Anyway. Paste it into place. And I want that to be one line. So I just drag it out, and then I'm going to drag it back into place and center it, looking for that. There we go. Okay, this looks okay. Let's get it in a little bit closer. And this font isn't great for this. One thing that's a problem you can see is it's just kind of too big. So I am actually going to shrink it down. Move it over and kind of get everything nice and close. And you know what? The thing is, when you've got all this white space and you shrink that down, you want to maximize your space, even though that white space won't show up later. So I'm going to undo what I just did. Let's go back to big. It's this that needs to be bigger. So I click over here. Let's increase the size. Okay, now you're seeing it's changed the way it's spaced now. So we are going to just drag it out, drop it back into place, and drop it down. We want this to do the same. I'm going to, the one easy way is just go center to center. I'm sorry, edge to edge. And then you know it's centered. And then you can start typing over it. And whatever size you make it, it's going to be centered. That's kind of big. What did I make this one? 64. They're both 64. I'm going to make the member ID just a little smaller. Even though it's important information, it just looks a little strange. Now, this isn't pretty, but you get the idea. This is real quick and dirty here. And move that in a little bit. Looks a little busy, but it gets the job done. Okay, Now what you want to do is you've got a finished product here. You want to save it. You can click right here to name it. I'm going to name it YL member ID badge because you're kind of badging your graphics with this. It's like a watermark. You could also call it YL member watermark. Now you're going to click download, and I believe this may be only a premium feature as well, so this might not work in the free version. Select transparent background. That is absolutely essential, and then make sure you select PNG. Now we can download it. Now that it's downloaded, let's go back to the Facebook post. We're going to take our YL member ID badge and we're going to drop that into logos. Now because we made it transparent PNG, all we got to do is drop it on there. Look at that. Works on anything of any color. But here's the caveat. This is already a pretty busy graphic. So what might I do? Maybe I will take this guy and I'll shove him over here and I'll put my information more prominently over here, and that's going to require me to do a little bit of shrinking. And throw that in the corner. Now, make that a little larger. That's one option. This stuff tends to get a little busy. I see a lot of people design stuff and it's just too much information. There's not good eye flow here. What's my other option? I can do this. Make it bigger, and this is more of an advanced technique. You can see they've actually done what I'm going to show you how to do. They've got this transparent shape right here that allows them to make this more readable. And we're going to do the same thing. So you go to Elements, grab a shape, and click on a square. You can make it a circle. I guess let's make it a whatever. We'll just make it a square. Let's do this right. You can see my branded color came up right away. It's not what I want. I'm going to go with white. So you can go right here to the plus sign, and the code for white is 6Fs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or you can go right to the center here. There's my white. I'm going to move that over here, shrink it down to about the size of my graphic, and I'm going to arrange back so it's behind my logo. Now I can see, whoops, I grabbed the wrong piece. That's one of the things in Canva that drives me a little crazy sometimes. And now what I do is I go here, and I can change the transparency. So, whoa, look at that. Suddenly, it kind of pops. And then if you want, you can actually group these things together. One easy way is go outside the frame, outside the canvas, drag across, and it will grab both elements, the square I made and my text. Now what I can do is I can group them, and I can move both of them together. Look at that. It's amazing. And then let's just kind of shrink some things down here. And look, it shrinks them both. Ah, yeah. Okay, so that's how this is done. Now, if I really wanted this to look a little smoother, this is kind of weird because I've got this square here and I've got this square, and they're kind of different sizes in proportion. I'm going to ungroup them. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and match the look of this because I'm just that fancy. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to move that aside. It's this I'm concerned about. I'm going to do one of these numbers. And if you find that you can't get a real, get this lined up, see how this is kind of off? It's a little bit off. Zoom in down here. Move it over. And let's get this looking right. Get the handles. Pull this handle over. And heck, let's even just move it up right there. Let's get the transparency to look like it's the same. So it's going to be a little bit wider. You can also edit this number, I believe, right? Oh, not in this program. This is in Photoshop, folks. But hey, look at that. Now let's zoom out and take a look at it. Not a big fan of this white space thing here, so what I can do is I can actually hit the down arrow. There we go. Look at that. Well, hit left arrow. I can see that it's not quite 100% there. Grab this. A little bit more. I'm over too much. Let's go a little bit back. One more time. All right. Now grab it. Hit the up arrow. Almost seamless. All right, so it's not perfect, but it's pretty flipping great, guys. the other thing I forgot to do is I'm going to do that same trick. I'm going to click outside of here, grab all this stuff, and move it all together back to the center. And there you have it, folks. That is how you quickly watermark any graphic.